I never thought that I'd ever do story times on this channel, but I think this sneaker related story is definitely worth it. Hey guys, let me tell you the wildest story about my favorite sneakers in my collection. So let's bring it back to fall of 2020, October to be exact. I was 20, I had red hair, and I was like in my prime sneaker collecting days. Like I was buying anything I could get my hand on. And a sneaker I had on my Grail list for years since I started collecting in 2013 was the Chicago ones. And I was always looking on resellers websites or on StockX or GOAT or Marketplace or just anywhere I could find the shoe in my size. I was on there looking for it, and the prices weren't nice at all, going from $800 to $1,500, $800 to $1,500, like, and I couldn't get myself to pay that on a pair of sneakers at the time, right? So one day I found a sneaker reseller that was selling it for $9.50. I'm like, okay, I've been saving my money. I was working at McDonald's at the time, so I was saving my paychecks. And I'm like, okay, what if I offer him $600? If he takes it, he takes it. If he doesn't, then I'm just gonna have to wait and see, right? And then he took it for $600. I said, perfect. And then it's 2020 and I was dating a psychopath at the time, and I know better than to go do sneaker meetups by myself, right? So I told him about that, and that's where our story takes a turn. So my boyfriend at the time, the psychopath, he says, okay, he'll take me, but he was mad at the world that day. I don't know what happened, but at the time he was just angry. He always used to take out his anger on me, not physically, but like, you can tell he's mad, and then if I do anything, it'll just spark it even higher, and it just wasn't a good time. But he promised me in advance, before he even got mad, that he was gonna take me to get these sneakers, and he kept his promise. I'll say that. My ex was a hothead, he had a temper, and whenever he was in that state, it was like walking on eggshells. Like I didn't want to say or do anything to make him even more mad, because literally anything would set him off. So we're driving now, and I asked him, do you want me to put the GPS on? And I asked him that specifically because I know he hates when the GPS is talking to him. So I'm like, do you want it on? Because we don't know where we're going. Well, I didn't know where we were going at least. But I guess he did, because he didn't answer me. So I didn't put the GPS on because I just assumed that he knew where we were going, right? And then we're driving. I live in Durham, and the reseller was like West End, like almost Yorkdale area. If you're from Toronto, the GTA, you know what I'm talking about. Like not exactly Yorkdale, but like right, that little pocket right before Yorkdale. And we're driving, and he misses the exit. And that was his last straw, apparently. He got so mad, he was yelling at me. I'm like, I didn't know what to say, because I asked you if you wanted to put the GPS on, you didn't answer me. So I said those exact words, and he got off the highway and parked at a random gas station and got out of the car. The gas station was on some sketchy street, like there's no street lights, like it was so sketchy. And keep in mind that at this time I was a new driver. I just got my G2. I haven't driven at night yet, and it's nighttime because it's October, it's daylight savings, so like night comes earlier, and it was dark outside at this point. And he got out of the car and he left me there. So I'm just thinking, okay, he's just walking, he's trying to cool off, maybe he's getting a drink from the gas station. And I see his friend's car pull up, and he gets in the car and he leaves me there. He leaves me at the gas station by myself, somewhere I'm not familiar with because I'm not from this area. And I'm just sitting there. So I'm like, okay, I'm by myself. I know how to drive, just haven't driven at night yet, or on the highway by myself. So, but I'm very determined, because this is my Grail shoe I've been looking for years for a decent price. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go get it myself. And I don't recommend anyone doing anything that I did from this point on in the video. I know it was a risky decision, like going by myself, especially as a woman, going to do a meetup with a man that you don't know at nighttime, and it was at his condo, so I wasn't even in like a public space or anything. It's also like prime COVID time, so not really many people are outside at this time. And I was determined, so I drove the car to the man's condo and had a mask on and everything. And I got there and the man looked at me, he's like, I was expecting a man to be picking up these shoes because my ex was the one communicating back and forth with him. I'm like, oh no, the sneaker's for me, I'm here to pick it up, this and that, right? So the man looked at me, he's like, oh, you're kind of cute. I'm like, thanks. Okay, I have a mask on so you can't even see my face, but I said thanks. He's like, how about this? I'll give you the shoes for $250 if you give me your Snapchat and you let me take you on a date. I was sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, that's a pretty good deal. I'm not gonna find this shoe for $250 ever. Brand new in box with the receipt. So I took his offer. I said, okay, deal. I gave him my Snapchat. I gave him the $250. I said, okay, I'll message you with the details. I stepped back in that car and I blocked him on the spot because that man was like 10, 15 years older than me. Like, absolutely not. So I blocked him in the car. I drove off and got my shoes for $250. I was ecstatic because I got 2015 Chicago ones with the Nike Air, not the Jumpman, for $250, brand new. But like I said, I don't recommend anyone doing what I did because that wasn't safe at all. Like, I risked my life getting to that condo and the man wanted to ask me out on top of that. Like, I had so much going on that day, that night, I should say. Plus I was driving by myself. There was so much going on. I just went through so much that day and I'm just happy that I got my shoe in my hand after all. So after I got the shoes, I drove back home on the highway by myself. I was very proud of myself because I was very afraid of the highway. But I must say, this happening made me overcome that fear. I got home, I sat in my room looking at the shoe. I posted a picture of the shoes on my Instagram story. I think I still have the picture, so if I do, I'll put it here if I can find it in my archive. I posted the shoe because I was so happy about it, and honestly, I deserve to be happy because of all the trials and tribulations I went through to get the shoe to begin with. It was an accomplishment on my end. And now, surprisingly, that Instagram story I posted made my now boyfriend, the love of my life, slide into my DMs, and we're talking about shoes, and that Instagram story sparked a wonderful friendship I had with him. And that friendship, 4 years later, we weren't expecting this, turned into a wonderful relationship with the love of my life. So after all of that, I guess if I didn't get the shoe, I probably wouldn't have gotten a DM from him, which means I wouldn't be where I am now with him. And so I guess at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. So now this shoe I have here is not just a shoe to me. It's a memory of me overcoming my fears, learning how to drive by myself, taking risks that honestly I shouldn't have taken, and also being able to talk to the love of my life. So this shoe means a lot to me, has a lot of memories behind it, and honestly I think I need to get another pair of Chicago's just so I can like preserve this pair because of how much it's been through to be in my hands today. And yeah, I love this shoe with all my heart, like not just the way it looks, but like the way it makes me feel, because it's gone through a lot with me and I can appreciate that. If you ever had a sneaker story that came with a twist, or a dream grail that came with a nightmare, I get you, because honestly, getting left at a gas station by yourself in the middle of the night, basically, I think it was around 9, 10 o'clock. If I find the archive pictures, I can give you exact timestamps on when this all happened because I have all the pictures still as proof because I take pictures of everything. I hope you enjoyed this video of a crazy sneaker story. 2020 to 2022 was a trip for me. Like, I've been through so much. If you know me, you know, and I'm not gonna get into it because I don't want anyone coming after me. But if you want any more sneaker stories, I have a lot more. Like, for example, my right there, yeah, my off-white, my neon green Air Force Ones. I have a pretty funny story about those. It's not as dramatic and intense as this one, but it's a pretty funny story about how I got those. I spent way too much money on them, and honestly, it's one of my sneaker regrets, which will be in another video. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. Tell me what your favorite sneaker in your collection is. This will always be mine. And yeah, thanks for watching.